Testing 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Testing 1 2 3. Louder, louder, louder. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10.
season. As I said earlier, next week's game that was proposed and scheduled for Friday night against Preston has now been pushed out to Saturday. So Saturday afternoon, Preston being the City being Preston, 20s at 1 p.m, 22s at 3, and the senior kickoff is at 5 o'clock here at Frank Holland. Last game of the season, so it'd be great to see you all here for the last game of the season, please. Once again, a fantastic shout out to all our club sponsors, and especially to this group of senior sponsors: the IP Group, Interest Band, Continental Steel, Ronto Concrete, IBM Crane, Supporting Australia, Think Mesh, United Forklifts, Instant Access, Omnicurs, ANS Steel Fixing, Talent Crew, and Trackworks. We thank you to all the guys once again for their contributions. A few minutes to go before the boys come out, 7 minutes to game time. Just quickly go through the starting lineups for both respective teams. The visitors from Altona Magic, number 1, Casey Went, number 2, Yori Kawaguchi, number 3, Lachlan Gillard, number 5, Elaine Aru, number 6, John Stoyevsky, number 7, John Maddock.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Captain Jack Webster, number 6, Harry Ashcroft, number 8, Jamie Layford, number 9, Piers Waring, number 13, Valley Chesney, number 15, Gaku Inaba, number 17, Jackie Quinn, number 22, Timmy Atherinos, number 23, Drew Bauer, number 31, Matthew Narron, and rounding out the 11, we have number 30, Jackson Reno. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, as we approach kickoff, wishing you an enjoyable evening. Let's please not forget, no spectators are allowed to field the play at any point in time. No smoking under the grandstand, please. Please go out of the grandstand during you need to have a cigarette. No smoking and no entering the field of play. Wishing both teams the best of luck tonight. May the best team win, as long as it's the home side, Dandy City.
This is the first time you're down here? When's the last time? Oh, when Planty did his knee. Fuck, his knees fucking came off the bone, PCL, MCL, didn't it?
Good evening and welcome to Frank Holohan Soccer Complex here in Melbourne Southeast. Round 24 football of the Senol NPL Men's Victorious season. We're into the final straight, back from the Doherty Cup final break for the final 3 rounds of what has been an enthralling season so far. Dandenong City today hosting Altona Magic. Both teams firmly in the mid-table at the moment. Still mathematically a chance to make finals, but also still mathematically a chance to be drawn back towards the relegation zone. So a lot on the line for these two teams tonight as they head into the final rounds of this 2026 campaign. My name is Nick Devano, and I'm joined here today by Nick Hughes for all the action. Nick, Altona, the visitors, have been in some good form to kick away from the relegation zone. Dandy City got a nice win against Dandy Thunder before the break to get a little bit of separation, and then, of course, getting the added 2 points in the last few days as a result of that 0-0 draw against Green Gully a few weeks ago being overturned to a 3-0 win, meaning that they now find themselves not only all but safe, but still mathematically with a chance of chasing down the top 6 at the moment.
It's incredible, isn't it? I think both of these teams have had, I think you would have to say, the most topsy-turvy of seasons, full of drama and twists and turns and poor runs of form and good runs of form alike. Both sides come into this game in a decent little run. As you mentioned, Altona have been picking up points and really distanced themselves from that bottom 3 conversation. Dandy City, we know, of course, came in with the points deduction and started a little slowly, but have shown some fantastic signs, had some massive scalps against some big teams, and this one, as you mentioned, finals is still very much on the table for both of these sides, so all to play for.
Said Dandy City coming in 9th place on 28 points, Altona in 10th on 27. Both teams 6 and 7 points respectively outside the top 6 behind both Heidelberg and the Preston Lions. Preston back within 6 points after they were deducted 3 points in midweek. Dandy City have announced an unchanged starting lineup from the team that won the Dandy Derby last week. Matt Marum continues in goals, Jack Webster, Harry Ascroft, Jamie Latham, Pierce Waring, Valley Sesnick, Gaku Inaba, Danny Kim, Tim Atharinos, Will Bauer and Jackson Lino make up the 11. No room in the starting lineup for Wade Decker after finding the back of the net against his former team. Altona, they make one change for the side that drew 1-1 at home against Caroline Springs George Cross. Owen McCloskey comes into the starting lineup to replace Oliver Keller. Joining him in that starting lineup is Casey Wentz, Hiyori Kawaguchi, Lachlan Gillard, Garangaroo, John Stoichevsky, John Mabok, Eamon Sordo, Gavin Tasevsky, Alexander Gust, and Peter Itzopoulos. So all set to go here. Frank Holohan tonight. Again, the final 3 rounds of this topsy-turvy season. And, well, there is still a chance for these two teams. They'll keep believing right until it's not possible. Big night of action with stakes at the bottom half of the table, keeping an eye on what happens as well at Churchill Reserve with St Albans taking on the Bentley Greens, and we could have the bottom 3 all locked in by the end of tonight. We're underway here, Dandy City in their white kit going from right to left, Altona in red and black going from left to right. Altona, Nick, 4 unbeaten. They've won their last 3 on the road. They've won 4 of their last 5 away from Paisley Park. And the team that every season they're in and amongst the sides that are tipped to go down, they continue to find a way for survival. And they're, at the moment, riding a really strong run of form.
Yeah, it's been incredible, the job that they've done to not only scrap and fight for survival, but really, when you look at it now, to be comfortable away from the bottom 3. I think it might have been Mark Ivkovic on the NPL Victoria pod said that if they manage to secure survival, then you have to think about Devon Bond for potential Coach of the Season honours, as Dandy City just attacking down this near side on the left. But think about the task that was before Altona at the point when Goran Ozanovsky was handed his suspension after the loss against against Avondale. The run that they've been on since then has been quite remarkable, and have to take your hat off to the entire Altona staff, the playing squad, for the job that they've done, and they'll certainly be looking to continue that form and end their season on a continued high.
Well, they want to make sure of it tonight, Nick. They still need a result. Of course, they can be helped with whatever happens between St Albans and Bentley. Bentley at the moment are 7 points behind St Albans going into tonight's game. Already Green Gully and Dandy Thunder relegated. Dandy City were the side to relegate Dandy Thunder last week, and Green Gully's draw with Preston was enough to ensure they went down, along with the point deduction which came as a result of that game against Dandy City only a few weeks ago. One side looking to create something early. Kim towards Latham. Bit of head tennis there between the two teams. Stojcevski. Sordo does well, and Kawaguchi clearing it away. Webster, great first touch. Waring able to bring under his spell, but Dandy City able to sit on the ball. And it's been a weird old season for Dandy City. Of course, came into it -6 going into the campaign. Such a high bar after last year. Their finals run from 6th all the way to the grand final. Lost 2-1 against Heidelberg at Lakeside Stadium. An incredible season from them. Without that points deduction right now, they would be right in the mix when it comes to securing a spot in the finals, as Altona looking to get down that left-hand side, and they win a corner here. Sordo did well there against Valley Cesnik. So the performances, the results, when you consider it with the sides around them, they've actually done a pretty decent job to keep themselves in the mix, Nick. But, of course, that points deduction sees them where they are now. But still, there's still a chance, especially if they can win tonight. And given the form of Heidelberg, interesting watch in the weeks ahead as comes out here to Gust. Another crossing opportunity here on this far side. Ball's whipped in. Nodded away there by the veteran Webster. Kawaguchi getting back and able to recycle possession there through Stojcevski.
Lino and Bauer combining with the heads, and Ashcroft just helping it along. But yeah, weird old season it has been, Nick. You're spot on for Dandy City, and you have to wonder, when all is said and done, if they do miss out on the top 6. There's so many little just what-if moments throughout the campaign. Of course, not necessarily a great deal they could have done about starting the season with -4 points, but, you know, what if that point deduction wasn't there? And what if they had been able to ride some of the momentum? You know, they go 3 wins in a row and then have a shock loss against Georgie's. Dandy City on the ball, attacking again down this left-hand side. Bauer, ball into the 6-yard box, and how on earth is Pierce Waring not converted? Crossbar still rattling. Chesnick now driving across. What a chance for Dandenong City. Pierce Waring wearing the number 9 tonight. He's been in some red-hot form. Emblematic of Dandy City's season as a whole is his stop-start campaign due to fitness issues and everything else. But what a chance that was.
Yeah, big opportunity there for Pierce Waring. 8 appearances this season and 5 goals, Nick. So it goes to show when he's been on the field, he's been having a massive impact for Dandy City, and, of course, filling the vacant boots of Kenny Athieu, who was their top goal scorer last year, has been one that Dandy City have been searching for all season, whether it's been between he and Xander Guy and Archie McPhee, who has since departed. But now it looks like they do have their answer in Waring. It's just a matter of keeping him on the field. So good start here, though, from the home side, Nick.
Yeah, good energy, and they've played the left side really well. Now shifted it out to the right with Latham. Bauer competing. That one's come off Jack Morgan, but play will continue. Latham again in a nice little pocket. Chesnick wins the throw. Nick Tolios just under us. I think wanting to switch a play there, they were really forcing it down that far side on 2 or 3 occasions and had the opportunity to swing the ball back around. But as I was touching on just before, you know, Dandy City, what if they don't have that point deduction? What if they sustain some of this run of form? You look at that 2-1 loss to Bentley as a real missed opportunity. Long throw hoisted in and caused a little bit of concern at Casey Wentz near post. But as you mentioned, this being the first kickoff of the round, a win for Dandy City will put them 3 points behind Heidelberg, and a Heidelberg time they haven't won in a little while. So absolutely all to play for. Latham's out-swinging corner is high. Webster put a body on Wentz. I think the call is goal kick. So I don't think anyone is really happy with that decision. Altona wanted the foul. Dandy City wanted the corner. And in the end, Went will have the goal kick.
I think Jack Webster was convinced that came off the hands there of Casey Went last. But nonetheless, play will continue. But you are right, though, Nick. I mean, stand corrected, it's -4, not -6. My bad earlier on. But, of course, if you do factor that in, they're on 32 points. They're levels with George Cross. They're above them on goal difference. But beyond that, they have had their chances this season. It's just been one of those weird ones that you almost can't really get a clear assessment on where this team's at, because it goes to show they are still a finals contender when they're up and going based on their head-to-head. But some of those key games, when they've had the opportunity to close the gap, they just haven't been able to do it. As themselves a throw-in. A team that in the last 2 years since their promotion to NPL Victoria, they have charged home and been able to secure a finals berth. Last year they finished in red-hot form. That got them into 6th. The year before that, in their first season back in the top flight, they were able to pip both Melbourne Knights and Port Melbourne to 6th. Last year it was getting ahead of Hume. Ultimately that got them through to the finals, and well, the rest was history with what they were able to do last year. They'd love every opportunity just to make things interesting in this run home. It's Bauer. Launches it up the line. Waring in a tussle there with Gillard, and ball put behind there for a throw-in. Good to see Pierce Waring hitting some good form as well, Nick. I mean, since he's moved from Green Gully to Oakley in 2024, he hasn't been able to rediscover the form that he showed at the likes of Gully and Bentley and Melbourne Victory before that. And now he's back. He's finding some form. It's all just about making sure that he can stay on the park, which is going to be the interesting watch going into these last 3 rounds and the future as well. As here he is, Waring, and he made clean contact, but just wide of the post. And 2 great opportunities early there for the Dandy City number 9.
That's a brilliant effort from Pierce Waring. It came to him so quickly and at an awkward height. He just had to take it on the volley in traffic in the box, and very, very nearly snuck it into the far corner. But spot on, Nick. It's great to see him not only back in the side, but you can tell he looks strong, he looks sharp. He's been in fine form in front of the goal. The reason why that earlier miss was so surprising.
He's one of the more prolific strikers in the league when he's up and going, and certainly be hoping he's able to ride what has been a good season for him. Great goal-to-game ratio into 2027 and beyond. There's Aru, another one here who's been in some great form in John Mabok, getting a touch there. Breakout season for him. Risky pass there, but Stojcevski was able to get a foot in, but it's turned over. Sesnick. Dandy City getting forward in numbers, looking for the through ball. Opportunity here, and it's just wide of the mark. Atharinos, who has been in some blistering form of his own in the last few weeks, fed through superbly, but just dragged his shot wide of the mark there. And Dandy City now with a 3rd great opportunity to start this game.
Well, I was just waiting for the net to ripple. It was just the case of, for me, whether it was going to hit the post on its way in or not. I can't quite believe how that snuck wide of the post. The slide rule ball from Valley Chesnick was absolutely superb to play in Tim Atharinos, who, speaking of form, his back half of the season has been really solid. And, well, talking about ruining some missed opportunities throughout the year for Hajduk. They've already had 3 massive ones in this game alone. And they'll be hoping that they can start converting some of these. Not let Altona stay.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, I mean, Dandy City have come out like a house on fire, but just haven't had the reward for effort, because this is very impressive. They look refreshed after the break and ready to really attack not only tonight, but they'd be hoping these last 3 games and end this season on the brightest note possible. Now, Altona really up against it early here, Nick.
Yeah, well, you mentioned in the last couple of years how Dandy City have snuck into finals late on, and of course we know the journey that they went on last year, going all the way to the grand final. This certainly looks like a team that is not letting anything go of their season, knowing that they have 9 points still to aim to collect, and who knows where that can set them. As now Altona are coming back the other way, and a crucial challenge from Jack Webster. Owen McCloskey was just about to pull the trigger. Bit of pressure for Altona now as Kawaguchi smashes that one over the bar and over the fence behind the goal. But timely reminder for Dandy City, if you're not putting away your chances, Altona have the quality and have the form to hit back at the other end. Owen McCloskey into the box. He's got 2 in his last 4. All 3 of his goals this season have come in the last 8 games. So a warning sign thrown across by Altona Magic.
Kawaguchi to build off his goal against George Cross last week. Mentioned Altona coming into this game, 4 games unbeaten. In some really nice form when you look at some of the results over the last few weeks, including that win at Lakeside against South Melbourne, the 3-1 win against Green Gully as well, who had started to find some form in the last few weeks. 0 draw with, albeit a struggling Heidelberg, a 1-1 draw against George Cross, who are also pushing for finals football of their own. It's been an incredible year for them as they continue to defy the odds. Strong challenge there from Ashcroft, and he's able to win his side a throw-in. Plenty of experience in this Dandy City team as well. Understand how to manage these moments, and players who have been there and done that have played at the highest level. Of course, Jack Webster, game 360 in NPL Victoria football today. Past the 350 milestone, and we'll go equal with Tom Miladovic by season's end in 6th place overall if he does play each of these last 3 games. Continuing to showcase it. Even at the age of 36, Nick, he's still going strong, still playing a really important role for this Dandy City team. And I wonder if he will go again next year, because he's still playing at a very high level. Atharinos with a switching ball here to Jackson Lino. Rain starting to fall here at Frank Holohan. It's been not your typical cool August day here in Melbourne. It's felt a little bit more balmy. Just having a chat with our cameraman John beforehand, I'm wondering about the rain, and quite confident, thinking, oh, maybe it's not going to be today. It's actually feeling quite warm, but nonetheless, he's come prepared and said better to be safe than sorry and put the cover over the camera, and the heavens have opened in the last few minutes as Aru towards Mabok. Nods it down. McCloskey switching ball to Sordo. Here come Altona back the other way. McCloskey continues his run. Plays lining up in the middle, and his cross over hits and out for a goal kick. Nick, John Mabok this season, another one of the breakout stars really in this competition. 7 goals. He's really made the most of his first full season playing consistently in the top flight. He's poached out of Werribee after previously being at Melbourne Knights, but he has been a real great find for the Altona Magic this season.
Yeah, 7 goals with 3 games still to potentially add to that tally. He had 6 in VPL2 the entirety of last season, so making the step up in 2 divisions and eclipsing the goal tally. It's been a really exciting season up front for John Mabok. And Altona are creeping further and further into this game now.
I know it's early to be talking about sort of transfers for next season, but you would expect that some of the heavy hitters in this league will be keeping an eye on what John McBock's done, of course. Remember, Altona's one of their last prolific strikers that hit form was Bull Juarch, and Heidelberg were onto that, and it's obviously gone from strength to strength. John McBock will certainly, with the form he's showing at the moment, he's going to play it as a bucket load of ability. Altona will be hoping to, I'm sure, keep him around for many, many years ahead and continue his development into one of the more finer strikers here in this competition.
I think you could say that about a few in the Altona side. Garanga Rowe that you touched on before. Alexander Gustus had a great season as well, as Latham was trying to reel that one in behind. But yeah, as we've touched on, it's just what's been so impressive about Altona's season. They've had setbacks, overcome each and every single one of them, and potentially unearthed some really, really talented young players that they'll certainly be eager to keep a hold of, and a lot of teams in this league will be eager to get their fingers on as well. Just about 18 minutes gone. Still 0-0. Bauer went from range. It was a really poor goal kick from Casey Wendt that fell straight to Will Bauer, and why not try your luck? Casey Wendt grateful that it was more or less straight at him and he could hold on to the save. It's a couple of times, though, that Casey Wendt and Altona have just struggled a little bit clearing their lines and getting out of defence. Gus mops up on that occasion, and nice bit of footwork from Garanga Rowe. Well worked. Gus switches that one out to Sordo. Gucci back to Stojcevski. Some nice little flicks and touches from Altona to get out of Dandy City's counter press there, and settling into possession now. Aro. Lino quickly on to McCloskey. Altona, of course, won the reverse fixture at Paisley Park, 1-0. Garanga Rowe was the goal scorer on that occasion. He's on the ball here. Looking for Gust at the top of the box. Atharinos arrived to clear. Power uses his body well. Will stay in from Lino's attempted clearance. It's been a real interesting 20 minutes so far. It was all Dandenong City to start with, and Altona have now settled into things and enjoying a dominant spell of their own. Gust just kept on going. Space opened up ahead of him and tried to slide it in from a box. No one closed him down. So he took the space on. Altona just trying to find that little bit of quality in the final third as Stojcevski mops that one up.
Which way? Let him set up then.
Not best pleased there, Nick Tolios, with that long clearance from Matthew Marum. Assumed the number 1 jersey for Dandy City this season. Continues to start ahead of Pierce Clark, who was the tried and tested number 1 for Dandy City last year, and interchanged at different times this season. Marum started the year as the number 1 and then was back in the starting lineup on June 20 against Georgie's, and has been locked into that position since. Pierce Clark, of course, a well-tenured goalkeeper right across not only Victoria but the country. Lino looking to get things moving, just taking a few extra steps. Waring calls for a handball. So a very Very steady drizzle continues to descend here in Endeavour Hills, winning his side a free kick here on the left-hand side. So Dandy City, they were under the pump there for a couple of moments, but now have an opportunity to try and test this Altona defence. So they can come up here from this set piece. Jamie Latham and Will Bauer are standing over it. The in-swinger of Latham or the left-footed out-swinger of Bauer is the question. Latham into the near post and almost caught Casey, went off guard, but he did well getting down to his right to parry that one behind for a corner. I mean, why not? I mean, there was a big gap left there, and Jamie Latham, he's got all the skill to pull it off, and he almost did on that occasion.
Yeah, really smart effort. No one was expecting it. Just probably need a little bit more power behind it.
Here he is again, and that cross far from his best. On his left foot that time, and out for a goal kick. Ball going right towards the Filipovic stand behind the goals. One of 3 games tonight here in NPL Victoria. Great to have league football back for these last 3 rounds of the season. St Albans against Bentley Greens at Churchill Reserve. Probably the most relevant for the teams that are in action tonight. And, of course, Oakley can take a big step towards winning the NPL Victoria Premiership against the already relegated Green Gully over at Jack Edwards Reserve. It's really starting to feel that finals football is around the corner. You know, great Doherty Cup final last week, big crowd, great weather for it. Spring is right around the corner, Nick, and you know, we're closing in, of course, on a big final day where have all games running simultaneously as well. So interesting to see where these 2 teams are at when we do get there. And they'll be hoping to be right in the mix, playing competitive football and for something, not just playing for a little bit of pride in that final round. So it'll be a fascinating watch nonetheless. All sort of locked in on that far side. Latham does well to win it back. Floats it in towards Bauer. Good control there, but Gillard and Aru work it out between them. And now Altona can go back the other way. Here's McCloskey. Katsopoulos makes the run to this near side. McCloskey opts to go centrally. Aru, poor first touch. And Kim and Latham there to support. And Webster helps it out to his right to Sesnick. And Danny Kim unable to bring that one under his spell. And it's out for a throw-in. And seems, Nick, as this weather has turned, it's started to suit the visitors maybe a little bit more. Dandy City, in those first few moments when it was dry, they were playing quite slick, playing through the lines and causing Altona some problems. But since then, they just haven't been able to really get too much control of what's become quite a chaotic affair.
Yeah, chaotic is certainly the word. Altona have got themselves a lot more joy in possession in the last 10 to 15 minutes, but that passage of play there happening a little bit too often, I think, for Devon Bond's liking. And the ball from McCloskey was just a bit behind Aro. Aro got it stuck under his feet and was killing the momentum of the attack. So Aro goes long, searching for Mabok. Webster positioned his body really well, and Maram did the rest to charge off his line. Ashcroft was closed down, so had to go first time. Aro finds a neat ball into Hatsopoulos. Switches out to Sordo. Brilliant touch to get it under his spell. Eamon Sordo hitting the byline and shepherded out of play by Valley Chesnick. But as you said, Nick, it's been a little bit scrappy in the final third for both teams. A few instances of underhit passes or teammates not being on the same wavelength, the ball going to feet, the runner going in behind, or vice versa. Both sides will be keen to iron out some of those kinks in the final third. Kim heads it on to Latham. Amy Latham, NPL Victoria appearance number 99 tonight. So one game away from a milestone for him. It's a brilliant flick, and Sordo was just waiting for the help of John Mabok, and it didn't come. Strong header from Moreau. Atopoulos down the right-hand side, cuts inside Inaba. Combination of Ashcroft and Lino got back really well, and now Atharinos is away on the right. Picked out brilliantly, and Stojcevski got across to disturb the run. It's been getting a little bit end-to-end, and again, just final touches, final balls just breaking down at the moment. Feel, Nick, that this game is crying out for a little bit of quality, someone to make that moment of magic to just open things up and find the opening goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone have a little bit of composure in front of goal, as we've seen Pierce Waring get himself in some good positions, and Altona starting to put this Dandy City defence under pressure, but that final ball for them is probably just lacking a little bit, and being able to get Mabok or Atopoulos in those dangerous areas in behind the Dandy City defence. So see which team is able to grab this one by the horns and able to really find that all-important opening goal. Here's Atharinos out towards Lino, but Aru did well, telegraphed it beautifully, and Altona looking to go back the other way, but the veteran savviness of Ashcroft getting across to put that one out for a throw-in. Tasevski wins his side a free kick. So just looking on the benches for the two teams today. Dandy City, mentioned Pierce Clark, the backup goalkeeper, Jack Parates-Cullen, Wade Decker and Jackson Courtney-Perkins, two of their mid-season signings on the bench, along with Matthew Jofku and Stasi Georgakopoulos. Altona with Ilya Shalamanov, Trenkova, Lyra Malmazi, Chung Hee Lee, Jesse Langer, Daniel Fabrizio and Ollie Kellarts. Has opportunity here for Valley Sesnick! And he blasts over the bar. And the right back getting up from defence. And well, that was the opportunity there for Dandy City yet again. Sesnick, who scored quite a few goals in his time at Port Melbourne. Great little 1-2 there. Great little flick through. And Sesnick just unable to steer it under the bar. He knows where the goals are, Nick. He has 25 NPL Victoria goals, but none this season. So he'd be disappointed with that one, that he wasn't able to at least test Casey Wen.
Yeah, it was brilliantly worked, as you said, with the 1-2. And there's another flick ball. Will Bowers in behind. He's got Atharinos to pick out. He just delayed it. The ball's behind Atharinos, but he'll pick it up on the far side. Numbers now arriving in the box. Kawaguchi wins the challenge and keeps it in. Well, again, another spurned opportunity for Dandy City. Felt like the ball had to come earlier from Will Bauer, or he waited. He probably could have gone all the way himself. Now Altona counter again. McCloskey got Lino for company and showed the ball, showed a little too much of the ball to Jackson Lino, who, just as we were talking about Valley Chesnick's impact, I think both of the fullbacks tonight for Dandenong City, Valley Chesnick on the right, Jackson Lino on the left, have been a massive part of their upturn in form. Jackson Lino settling in at left back has enabled Gaku Inaba to get back into centre back, and when Corey Sewell went down in the first Dandy derby here, thought that was going to be a really, really big loss for Dandy City, but Chesnick dropping back to right back from right wing, and Atharinos taking more of a starting role higher up the pitch on that right flank has really worked a treat. We've seen them link up a couple of times, feeding each other once each so far, Atharinos and Chesnick, and they'll be hoping it can be a case of third time lucky the next time they come acquainted on the right-hand touchline.
Lino, push in. He's a direct opponent. You can go in more narrow. That way you can help.
Just past the half-hour mark now. Still, somehow, awaiting the first goal. Pierce Waring's at the crossbar. Tim Atherinos and Valley Chesnick have both come close, and there's been a handful of other half chances. And that's, of course, not the joy that Altona have had in fair chunks of this first half as well. Rowe. Nice feed initially trying to get away from Latham, but Ashcroft helped his teammate out to finish the job. And again, it's just all getting a little bit stuck, a little bit too tight.
Just that ball was coming there, Nick. Was having flashbacks to Louis Yatsevsky's big mark down here last year where it was able to clunk one of those. Thought Nick Tolios was potentially going to be sizing one up for himself. Decided to leave it. So we're closing in on half time here. Still 0-0. Dandy City, though, just incredibly, still haven't been able to find that all-important goal, Nick. They have been peppering the Altona goal. Some of the chances and half chances they've created so far. Altona's still been able to keep this game deadlocked. Here's Mabok. Koski making the run to his right. Looks to feed it through towards Sordo, but Maram did well coming off his line and clears it away first time. And despite Dandy City's dominance going forward, Altona with still plenty going forward. On McCloskey particularly looking dangerous at the moment. Rangaroo being asked to take a few steps back. Here he is again. Shut down by Bauer. Aru comes centrally. Oh, nice little bit of skill, but was unable to complete the move, and it's one back here by the home side. Atherinos, Kim, lovely ball through. Sesnick charging forward here from fullback. Some plays lining up in the middle. Takes an extra touch, gets towards the byline. Valley Sesnick, and it's cleared away by Stochevsky. It's having a big impact so far, Nick. You spoke about the impact of the fullbacks, but these last few minutes, it's Valley Sesnick getting his chance now to get forward and really join in on these attacking forays.
Yeah, that time taking advantage of the space that had been opened up by Tim Atherinos dropping inside. It was a really nice combination. Atherinos just dumping it off to Kim, and the first time ball out to Chesnick's overlapping run. And now another opportunity from the long throw. Long throw that in the end wasn't really all that long. Kawaguchi was able to clear as the first man. Ashcroft keeps it alive for Dandy City. Now Chesnick pops up on the left. Sizing up a row and doing really well. He's won his side a corner, Valley Chesnick. Excellent bit of footwork. Shaped across and cut across his man. It'll be Tim Atherinos to take this corner on the near side. Lifted towards the back post. A strong fist from Wentz. It fell kindly to Gaku Inaba, Danny Kim, who had no one around him. And he looks at that one in the film review. I wonder if he might have wished he brought it down, because I think he had more time to take a touch.
Oh, Nick, I mean, he's only scored one goal in his previous 133 NPL Victoria appearances, and boy, he would have loved that opportunity falling to him. Would have been a rare chance for him to hit the back of the net, but yeah, really probably should have done a bit better to try and steer that one on target. Plays such a steady presence in the middle of the park, and Webster nods it straight through here towards Sordo. Sesnick getting back. Still an opportunity here for the Altona attack. Sordo Gets back towards the byline, and the deflection comes back off him. And well defended by Dandy City. They opened the door there for the Moroccan winger. But the home side did well to make sure that that didn't lead to the opener for the visitors.
Yeah, Danny Kim might have fluffed his lines in front of his attacking goal, but he was fired up back in his own 18-yard box there, making that challenge. It was Jack Webster's initially errant header that allowed Sordo to get in behind. And well, we've been talking about Chesnick's attacking play. He did his defensive work to a T on that occasion as well. Dandy City wanting a high boot, and we'll get it from Jack Morgan.
Well, a few apologies there from Danny Kim.
What a fantastic minute of action Danny Kim has had.
So it's gone from fluffing his lines at one end, goal-saving tackle at the other, and then just popping one perfectly onto the head there of Jack Morgan.
That's the accuracy he needed in front of goal a minute ago. Fantastic. Oh, Jamie Latham will take over from this free kick. A chance to lift it towards the area. It's floated towards the danger area, went headed away, and well, that would have been a collector's item. Jack Webster from outside the box, unable to hit the target. So still we wait for the game's first goal. Approaching the final 5 minutes of this one, and there are goals in this particular fixture, Nick. Having a look at some of the records of some of the players out there tonight for Dandy City in particular. Pierce Waring has scored 6 times against Altona in his career, including 4 in one game for Green Gully in 2023. Will Bauer has a couple against Altona, and waiting in the wings, Wade Decker scored 9 times in his career against Altona Magic, including a hat-trick for Oakley in 2022. At the moment, not quite going to that script for Dandy City as Sordo steps inside and forces a save, albeit a routine one from Matthew Maram. So, not quite following the trend that we've seen for some of these players who have loved scoring against the Magic. We'll see if that changes as we go on for the rest of the 90 minutes.
Talking about the record books, Nick. Altona haven't won here in 7 years, so looking to turn things around from, it's been basically one-way traffic in Dandy City's favour, but he did mention that earlier this season Altona got that win at Paisley Park, but really historically though, it is Altona who do have the wood in this fixture. 8 wins to Dandy City's 6 and 3 draws. They've met all too often throughout Victorian football history. Still, it's been a while between drinks since Altona headed back over the Westgate with 3 points in tow. Stojcevski. Wentz clears it away. Still a constant downpour here at Frank Holohan.
Interesting just having a look at the front third for Dandy City now. Looks like Nick Tolios has just changed his wingers, at least just for this little portion of the game. Bauer shifting to the right and Atharinos on the left, which is interesting given both of those guys, you would have to say, have caused problems from their customary wings so far.
We've had a lot of joy getting down both flanks. So maybe just looking to shuffle things for these last few minutes. McCloskey just kept it alive. Inaba under the pump. His first time clearance goes to Gust. Aru. Well shut down there by Kim. Latham looking to kickstart the attack. Atharinos cuts inside. Great skill there from the Dandy City number 22. There's nothing up ahead of him. So he goes back to Kim. Great composure there from Danny Kim. Waring It's got Latham in a paddock here on this near side and is unable to get on the end of it, and it's out for a goal kick. So really, when you look at the standings tonight, a draw doesn't really help either of these two teams. Dandy City will go to find themselves on 29 points. Altona will be on 28. Yes, it may be enough to book in their place in the top flight, depending on what happens at Churchill. Make sure of it. Make sure that there's no possible way they can be dragged back into it. But with their respective very, very unlikely finals chances, doesn't really help. So 3 points of premium for these two teams, especially with their respective very difficult runs home. Dandy City having Preston here at home in their last home game of the season. Of course, that's been moved to Saturday, taking on a Preston team that are in the mix of a very hectic schedule. And Oakley away on the final day, and Altona, meanwhile, they play Avondale at home, and then they've got Preston away on the final day. So a very difficult run for these two teams, playing sides that are set to play finals football this season, particularly those matches against Preston and Avondale. I mean, Oakley, they might have top spot all sewn up by then. But Avondale and Preston, you expect to be playing for either top two or potentially a finals berth, given Preston's additional points deduction this week. Sesnick looking to get forward down the right. Patient on the ball here, the home side. Ashcroft, Inaba. Here they go again. Nick Tolios calling for them to drive. Atherinos looking to cut inside. Rangaroo doing really well to slow him down, albeit momentarily, and Lino was unable to find the run there of Atherinos. So closing in on half-time here, Nick, and still goalless. But as you said, this, with the calibre of players out there and the chances created, it's got to be goals around the corner, you'd think.
It has to be, and of course we're neutral in the commentary box here, but I was willing that move on, because that would have been, had they have managed to get it into the box and created a goal just there, Dandy City, that would have been the team goal of a lifetime. Some of the one-touch football, getting out of trouble from the back and shifting right to left was fantastic. But yet again, there's been a fair bit of that. There's another brilliant ball into Pierce Waring's feet, but it's been in the final third where it's broken down for both sides so far. Atherinos trying to change that. Waring with some fast feet to keep it in his possession, and goes for glory from range. He wasn't closed down. Don't mind the effort at all. The man with number 9 on his back tonight, but still with number 10 on his right thigh.
So just looking around the grounds, Nick, we have goals at Jack Edwards Reserve in the opening 13 minutes. 2 for Oakley, leading 2-0 against Green Gully. So as a result of that, puts them 10 points clear of Avondale, who are in third. So that would all but wrap up, you'd think. Well, actually would, with a win, it would wrap up their spot in the top 2, but it put them 8 points clear of second place Hume. Nonetheless, we're going to get no stoppage time here to wrap up this first half, Nick. So score here at half-time, Dandenong City 0, Altona Magic 0. Nick, chances are plenty for the home side, particularly through Pierce Waring early. Valley Sesnick as well having a great opportunity of his own. But still, here we are, 0-0, heading into the half-time break here in this important match for these two teams if they want to keep themselves in the mix for the top 6 and also just ensure that they'll be playing top flight football next season.
Yeah, well, you just said there, Oakley have scored a couple of goals in the first 10 minutes in their fixture. Dandy City really could have done the same here. Pierce Waring somehow picked out the crossbar from point-blank range right at the top of the 6-yard box. Big chance for Atherinos, big chance for Chesnick. It's been a seesawing battle throughout the first half. Both sides have had their periods of joy in possession. Dandy City, you'd have to say, have dominated the clear-cut chances, talking about those that we've just touched on. But as you said, Nick, 1 point doesn't really shift the dial for either of these teams. They both need to go for all 3. So hopefully we'll see things open up in the second half and we'll start to see some balls hitting the back of the net here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex. But for now, we'll take a break and Hopefully plenty more action to come here in the second half. It's Dandy City 0, Altona Magic 0.
score update while you're having a drink and we're waiting for half-time break. The other important game tonight over at our sister club, St Albans Saints. 9 minutes gone, St Albans 0, Bentley Green 1. Just a reminder about the Oakley game, 25 minutes gone there. Oakley 2, Green Gully 0. As girls and players making their way back out the ground for the second half, finish up your drinks and eats inside, strap yourselves in for 45 minutes of football, so we get some goals on the board from either side, but preferably the home side, yeah? Let's see Danny's moving in there.
Welcome back to Frank Holohan for the second half of this round 24 Senol NPL men's Victoria fixture between Dandy City and the Altona Magic. 0-0 as we get ready to start the final 45. An all-important clash for these two teams who still harbour some finals ambitions, particularly Dandy City, who can get themselves back within 3 points with a win tonight of the top 6. Altona as well, still in with a chance too. But also, both these two teams need points to keep themselves out of falling ever closer towards the drop zone. We'll bring you some live scores from around the grounds in just a moment, because there is one fixture right now that has kicked off that has direct permutations with this one, has already thrown a cat amongst the pigeons. As we get things underway here, Altona going from right to left, Dandy City from left to right. Nick Tabano and Nick Hughes here to take you through the final 45. Nick, there were chances, particularly for the home side. They were peppering the Altona goal throughout that first half, but just unable to find that all-important opener. But if the attacking football on show from the home side is anything to go by, you get the sense that it's a matter of when, not if, for Dandy City tonight.
Yeah, it would have been a couple of interesting half-time team talks in the sheds over the break, because both sides, I think, will have plenty to be pleased about. Both defended quite well, and both had some really silky periods of possession on a difficult surface to play anything close to silky football. And as you said, the home side were the ones that created some really, really big chances and just couldn't convert them. So see if things can open up slightly in the second half here, and how both sides approach this one if it stays 0-0, and the longer it stays 0-0, knowing again that the 3 points are so important. See how they approach it.
No, strong collision on that far side between Lockie Gillard and Will Bauer. heard that one and really felt the reverberation from the opposite side of the pitch. And physio called here for the Altona Magic to come on and tend to Lockie Gillard. So, of course, tonight, just Dandy City, they currently sitting 9th, Altona in 10th on the live ladder. Dandy City go to 29 points, Altona on 28. But the big result to kick things off tonight, or hasn't kicked us off, but has kicked off, over it in the West, is St Albans v Bentley. And Bentley, who need to win tonight, find themselves leading against St Albans. So they're now on 23 points. So they're only on the live ladder 6 points behind Dandy City and 5 behind Altona, and only now 4 points behind their opponent St Albans right now. So a win tonight and a loss for either of these two teams, and it becomes a little bit nervy heading into next week, just not having their position in the top flights all wrapped up. And the last thing they want is to go into that final round needing points. So we'll keep an eye on that. Still plenty of time over at Churchill Reserve and here tonight at Frank Holohan Reserve. Still Lockie Gillard receiving treatment on that far side. No changes at half time from either coach, but just looking at the Altona bench, Liram Almazi shapes as the obvious replacement if Altona need to make any substitutions. But good to see Gillard's back on his feet, perhaps just a little bit winded there. You know, you could feel that one from right over here inside the commentary tower.
Yeah, it really echoed, didn't it?
Yeah.
The impact of that challenge, but good to see Lockie Gillard back on his feet, and doesn't seem to be a great deal of concern or movement on the Altona bench, so hopefully that means he'll be right to continue.
So back on his feet, back on the pitch. Good news there for the visiting Altona. Sesnick wins the second ball. Stochevsky. Tasevsky turns between two Dandy City players and gets to switch the ball, but a bit too much pepper on that one. It's out for a goal kick. And City coach Nick Tolios, best not pleased. Not best pleased, sorry, with that one. And a throw in here for Altona again. It's just been one of those scrappy old affairs so far to start this second half. The team really been able to get a foothold on things. Always it's good being here at Dandy City, Nick, and getting a bird's eye view of the respective benches, particularly Nick Tolios. He rides every bump, every challenge. And some of the other coaches in the league who are a bit more of the more pensive operators. You think about Chris Taylor, he's a lot more quieter on the bench, but Nick Tolios, he is riding every challenge with his players. Sordo looking for Itsopoulos, who's been quiet tonight. Webster does well and puts it out there for a throw-in.
Yeah, it's one of the best commentary positions in the league to just soak in the conversations and everything that's happening. Kawaguchi looking to send in a centering ball. Chesnick clears. Brilliantly plucked out of the sky by Tasevsky. Gust back to his midfield partner. A little bit dangerous with Waring lurking, but danger avoided for Altona. A row into the feet of Mabok. Kim was at his back, and Jack Morgan says play on. Bauer with a burst of speed. Numbers arriving in support. Ashcroft to Atharinos. Altona got back, and Atharinos is squaring free. Fired the shot on target. Casey went, knew he had the time to just let the ball spill in front of him and get back up on it. Sharp save, one that you would expect the Altona number one to make, but good little burst from Tim Atharinos and a first shot in anger in this second half.
Casey Wentz had an interesting old season, Nick. There's been one of the three starting goalkeepers for Altona this year. Of course, Ilya Shalamanov-Trenkova, when he was signed on loan from South Melbourne, was given an opportunity for a couple of games, and we saw Brandon Kumanow starred a few. He's since departed the club. Playing VPL 2, I believe. Brandon Kuma now, but Casey Went's been the primary choice throughout the 2026 season since coming down from Queensland.
I feel like it's been an interesting season for goalkeepers across the board. Been a fair bit of chopping and changing between number ones, thinking Bentley's and Albans off the top of the dome have been not been shy of changing that position on one or two occasions throughout the season. But Casey went settled back in for Altona. Atherinos is free. Ball across the area and was waiting for Waring to tap it into the back post, but he just couldn't reach it.
Get in!
Waring still on it though. Lays it back for Kim. Lifted towards the back post. Kawaguchi away. Tasevsky can bring it to ground. And now feeds Sordo. Altona back the other way. They're going into a 3-on-2 if they can play it right. Lovely footwork from John Mabok and Jack Webster, as he so often does, with a crucial late challenge. Gust takes over though. It's Alex Gust. Missed his pass, and now Dandy City can counter. Altona's counter. Latham looking for Atherinos. Kawaguchi read it all the way. Bauer brings it down and just about keeps it in. Now he goes over the top for Atherinos, and the flag's up. Did really well to get around Casey Wen and open up the shooting opportunity, but the offside flag raised against Tim Atherinos, and a bit of a helter-skelter minute of action with chances at both ends, and as we've seen all night, chances at both ends going begging.
Well, Tim Atherinos got him behind there, and he's having a bit of a moment here to start this second half. He's riding some really good form at the moment. Now, he put the question out there. We know he's got quite the social media presence. Tim Atherinos asking the question, will he break his 7-goal NPL season record? There's an opportunity to do it tonight. He's on 7 goals for the season. So a bit of afters here between Ashcroft and Gust. And Jack Morgan straight on over to break things up between the two. John Stojcevski as well. Getting in the middle there now. He's having a bit of push and shove with Danny Kim. Jack Morgan wants to have a conversation with Danny Kim.
Jack, how's the keeper come from 50 metres away to do that? No, you're not.
So,
He caused the issue, nobody else.
Who did? What? How did DK cause the issue?
so a yellow card for Danny Kim. Now, one of the great interactions there. This is the beautiful part we're talking about our position, Nick, is you hear everything. Every interaction possible. See, Casey Went came out, was getting involved in that sort of brouhaha that was happening right there. And Nick Toller was asking the question, what's the keeper doing there? Casey Went turns around and says, well, I'm taking the free kick. He's not taking the free kick now, though. John Stojcevski's taking the free kick. So. Nick Tolios is still asking the question.
He's just spoken to the fourth official about the old I'm taking the free kick excuse. Oh, that was fantastic.
You gotta love the NPL. There's always something happening. Ashcroft goes to ground. Free kick given away by Mabok. Well, interestingly enough, to start that little incident, it was Harry Ashcroft and Alex Gust that sort of locked up, and then Danny Kim ended up getting the yellow card for the afters, it seems like. But a few questions there from the Dandy City technical area, namely the coach Nick Tolios, about what was going on there.
Yeah, maybe that moment will just add a little bit of an extra spark into this game that it may well need. Just add a little bit more creativity, a bit more life into this contest. Webster gave Waring a difficult one to deal with. He tried to flicker around the corner to Atherinos, but not quite on the same page. Dandy City teammates, and looks like the home side will be the first to roll the dice from the bench.
I'm not surprised. I mean, you'd think that one of Wade Decker or Jackson Courtney Perkins, given the calibre of player waiting in the wings, that they'd be looking to get some extra attackers on to try and get this one in their favour and try and get that all-important opening goal.
I think it's going to be Jackson Leno coming off, just overhearing some of the conversations down below.
Interestingly enough, Jack Parates Cullen coming on here, so a defensive change here from Dandy City.
They're on the attack for now. Atherinos trying to work an angle to create something. Kim around the corner. I reckon had Waring let that go, it might have worked out nicely for Latham behind him, but they're still on it. Here is Latham now. Waring's come out to the right side, so there's no one really to aim for in the box. Chesnick, Atherinos, Inaba, trying to bang the door down Dandy City. Altona eventually clear. And there is that change that we mentioned. So an interesting one. Jack Paraich Cullen, I think is going to slot in at centre back, and we'll see Gaku Inaba move to left back.
Yep, confirmation of that there as Inaba moving on out to left back, and Paraich Cullen coming on here into centre back here. It's Dandy City. This Altona defence under the pump here from that throw. Gillard puts it out for a throw in. So, an update at Churchill Reserve. St Albans have drawn level against Bentley State. As a result that definitely benefits both of these two teams. That result stays. Bentley will be heading back down to VPL 1 on the first time of asking, joining Green Gully and Dandenong Thunder in the second tier next year. Did that come off last? It came off Gaku Inaba. It's out for a goal kick. So we'll see Altona respond with a change of their own. And it is going to be Daniel Fabrizio coming on here for Peter Ritzopoulos, who a bit quiet today has Peter Ritzopoulos. Daniel Fabrizio returning to the squad last week against George Cross. Missed a few games. He's started every game he's been available, bar last week and tonight. So he's been, usually, when he's been called upon, Nick, been one of the, I guess, first names on the team sheet, given he's been in the starting lineup more often than not. Yeah, he gets his chance here to try and turn this one in Altona's favour. Babok misses the header. Webster. Kawaguchi using his back to knock that one forward. Webster did well to telegraph it. And Laura's experience there. Plays it back to Sesnick. Long ball forward. Gust. Good control, but a bit too heavy there on the pass. And turns it over. So Dandy City looking to go quickly. It wasn't on there for Kim. On the ball here. It's Nick Tolios' side. Just waiting for their opening. Kawaguchi does well to win the header. Latham, Atherinos, back to Latham, looking back inboard towards Waring. Gillard did well to win it back. McCloskey under the pump there from Inaba. Tasevsky, good first time ball, and here come Altona back the other way. McCloskey, well defended there by Paraich Cullen, stepped out as centre back and did really well. Just treading a very fine line there. It did well to balance, not giving away the free kick. Ascroft, Atherinos. There's Latham. Bowers couldn't get him behind. And Tasevsky did well. And here come Altona through Gusts, where his pass unable to find Mabok. And really at the moment, Dandy City's starting to really turn the screws. They're in control here. Still looking for an all-important opening goal. Webster out wide. Sesnick. Stojevski did well, just getting a foot in ahead of Pierce Waring. John Stojevski showing all his experience there, and Mabok wins the free kick against Ashcroft. And the PA here as well, Nick, providing live score updates here at Frank Holohan as well. So getting the premium experience for the fans that have come on out here tonight. Of course, a lot of interest, Nick, in that game between St Albans and Bentley over at Churchill Reserve. I'm sure as soon as this game is over that they'll be whacking that one on in the club rooms to see how that one plays out.
Yeah, certainly will. Plenty still to play out in that one at Churchill, half an hour gone. Still locked at 1-1, still meaning, as it stands, that Bentley Greens will be back in VPL 1 next year. Here at Frank Holohan, we're past the hour mark, and I keep saying it, almost willing it into existence, the opening goal. We are still locked at 0-0, and as you just said a minute ago, Nick, Dandy City, it feels like, enjoying another spell of dominance and trying to turn the screw. Kim intercepts. Control from Atharinos. Nathan was in trouble and not best pleased with Pierce Waring's movement ahead of him. The road carries it forward for Altona.
It's just been one of those evenings, Nick, where it's just been super frustrating for both of these two teams, particularly for Dandy City, because they are in control of this contest, but just really have not been able to make it count. Feels like a bit of a microcosm of their season, Nick. Just extremely frustrating in a lot of these games where they need to get points and they just haven't been able to really turn the screws when they've needed to and make the most of it.
Nice link up between Kawaguchi and Sordo. Kawaguchi pulled it back to the top of the box, but there was no one arriving, and Dandy City will have a reprieve there as Chesnick's clearance strikes Jack Morgan, but you're too right, Nick. It's been an interesting all night on another night with exactly the same amount of chances created and same amount of action. This game could easily be 2-2, 3-3. But for now, still locked at 0-0. And as we've touched on, the longer this scoreline stays, we'll see how each dugout responds, how quickly, how aggressively they dip into their bench, and how hard they go looking to turn 1 point into 3.
Good boy, Timmy. No foul.
Atharinos chased the lost cause all the way, but customary outstanding defending from Hiori Kawaguchi, who's
How long's he taking, Jack?
continued his run of starting every single game this season for Altona Magic. Joined last year from Northern Tigers in New South Wales. Another fantastic performance tonight for the Altona Magic skipper.
So Casey went to get things restarted. 25 minutes plus stoppages remaining in this one. Webster wins the head. Good hold-up play there from Waring. A tough task against John Stojevski. With so much experience for Altona. It's now Aru. Kickstart something down this right-hand side. McCloskey. To cut inside, but again, well defended by Dandy City, not allowing McCloskey to get involved. A bit quieter in the second half after a really fast start to this game. Stojevski. Called to drive there from Devon Bond, but instead goes back to his man there in Gillard. Aru. Actually in their build-up, Altona just looking to pick their way through a wall of white at the moment. Gust. Kawaguchi. A bit too much on that one, and Sordo was unable to chase it down. Backup goalkeeper Pierce Clark with plenty of words of encouragement there from the bench. And we can see there, Nick, that Dandy City are responding with a change. And, well, it's a player who has plenty of goals to his name in years gone by the name of Wade Decker. He's set to be coming on here to try and find that all-important goal. Scored in the Dandy Derby against his former team 2 weeks ago. Would love to have a big impact here. It's a good ball towards Waring, but Sochevsky again just getting in the way. Sordo. Back inboard towards the run of Gust. Crosses it in first time, but Webster did well. Well out there for a throw-in. So Dandy City now will make that substitution. And, well, it's quite an attacking change here from Dandy City. Danny Kim coming off here and replaced by Wade Decker. So looks like Jamie Latham will sit a little bit deeper. So, Nick, it looks like they're going essentially to 4-4-2 to try and find that all-important winner. And meanwhile, it looks as if Lockie Gillard has run his race. We saw him cop a very heavy hit earlier. And now his evening's going to come to an end. And replaced here by Liram Almazi for the final 20-odd minutes of this game.
So changes at each end for both sides. Hopefully Lockie Gillard will be okay for the final couple of weeks of the season. Able to run out 20 or so minutes after that collision with Will Bauer, but obviously unable to continue now. And Wade Decker on with his 9 goals against Altona, 9 of his 85 in total in NPL Victoria. Would love to make that 10 and make it 2 goals in as many games for Dandy City. And what a massive goal it would be if he found it off the bench. Oh, what a back heel that was from Sordo. Kawaguchi stepping onto it is Tasevsky. Underneath it and sliced it a little bit. High and wide beyond Matthew Maram's goal. But again, both sides, both coaches showing their hands just a little bit. Change of pace, and we'll see how that impacts things going into the final 20 minutes here at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex.
Just keeping an eye on Alex Gus, Nick. I mean, he's played basically every position you can think of during his time at Altona. He's played as a fullback, he's played as a winger, and now in central midfield. And just constantly, every single time Altona are in action, he's always one of the most consistent performers. Such an important player to this team, and filling in beautifully there in the middle of the park alongside Gavin Tasevsky. I think they've found something there that they can really work with moving forward. But it's good to know that they can chop and change and plug and play him wherever they need him, because he's such an important player for them.
Yeah, massive season. Still just 22 years of age in his 3rd year at Altona. And you really feel like Magic could be building an exciting looking team if they can keep hold of some of these star players and continue to develop. Predominantly been a side that has scrapped and fought for safety in the last handful of years. It'd be fantastic to see them able to take that next step and begin to mount a finals challenge in the years to come. Of course, the finals challenge isn't necessarily out of the equation for this season either, but they will, you feel, need a win tonight to make that any sort of a reality. Bauer gets beyond Kawaguchi expertly. Will Bauer into the box, hits the byline, digs one out for Waring. Just got underneath the header. Plenty of applause from the Dandy City bench for the powerful run from Will Bauer. Just couldn't quite tee up Pierce Waring for a comfortable header.
Did really well there, Bauer. Great speed, great power to get past Kawaguchi.
Well done, Bowser. Keep going,
Pierce Waring, I don't think you knew too much about it, Nick. It just came at an awkward height. He was unable to really get his body over it or be able to steer that one on target, but Torres was quite pleased with that moment there as Decker getting onto that goal kick. Casey Wentz goal kicks tonight, they've been a bit of a problem for Altona. Just hasn't been able to really get too much length on them. A couple of times tonight. It's just opened the door a little bit for Dandy City. Aru. Does well to ride the challenge. Very well worked there by the former Newcastle Jet. And that's a great ball through. Here's a chance for Sordo, but the flag is up. And Main Sordo. He thought he was in behind. Again, another name we haven't called too much this second half after a bright start. Main Sordo. Still got the likes of Ollie Keller, Chang Hee Lee, and Jesse Langer waiting in the wings. Ollie Keller did score against Bentley earlier this season, of course. Fellow Sri Lankan international alongside Wade Decker, the two of them. Kawaguchi winning the header. Gust with control. Kawaguchi steps up and feeds it through. Here is Sordo looking to make an impact here. Mabok making the run. Still going here, Sordo, after that initial ricochet. Head through 5 Fabrizio. Out towards that right-hand side. McCloskey's cross is cleared. Now Dandy City can go. Atherinos. Good close control. Latham, Waring. They spread from left to right. Bauer looking to make the run. And perhaps just taking a few too many extra touches. Altona very disciplined, getting back to slow down that run there of Will Bauer. And the visitors have caused the turnover. Kawaguchi goes to ground. And Jack Morgan with a very late whistle now. Kawaguchi he stepped in front of Jamie Latham there, and then Latham did just slightly clip him. Jack Morgan just took a second there to put the whistle to the mouth, but there's a free kick here for the visitors.
Yeah, it was a very late whistle. We know Jamie Latham never shies away from a challenge or a pressing action. Not happy with the decision, but one he'll have to deal with as Altona look to build from the back. And touched on those struggles from the goal kicks. Interesting that Altona really have had no interest in playing out of the back all night. On each of those goal kick opportunities, they get everyone well up the pitch, hitting it long, and it seems to be working to a tee at the moment. Will Bauer had the long-range effort in the first half that very nearly left Casey Went red-faced, but Altona keeper was able to recover and hold on to the save.
Just having a look at the Dandy City bench, they're preparing a double change. So that's going to be Matthew Jofku and Stacey Georgikopoulos coming on. So we won't see Jackson Courtney Perkins tonight. But by the looks of it, just getting a peek of that sheets that's been handed over to the fourth official. Pierce Waring and Tim Atherinos set to be replaced here for the final few minutes. So perhaps just fatiguing a little bit these last few minutes, Nick. But interesting to take off two of their main men up front. Ashcroft just has nothing to his right, so he decides to go short there to Latham. Decker, back to Latham. Gus got a foot in. Opens the door here for Latham, but again a late whistle. Tasevsky winning the free kick there. So we'll see that double change here for Dandy City, Nick. So Atherinos won't break his goal-scoring record in NPL for this season, but still a very bright impact from him, and both Pierce Waring, who have had their chances tonight, certainly were causing a lot of havoc, but perhaps just looking for a bit of fresh legs here for the final few minutes, Nick.
Yeah, I think Pierce Waring in particular had started to fatigue a little bit. Just not quite picking up those positions or making the runs that his teammates are expecting of him. Not quite emptied the bench, but they've used all their allotted change intervals now, Dandy City, so This will be the 11 that ends the game for them in the final 10 minutes.
Interestingly enough, looking at this change, with Joffku coming on, Latham's pushed back further up, so they've quickly abandoned the two up top. So perhaps wanting to get Latham further up to just playing behind Waring, I think quite a sensible decision there, because Jamie Latham, as we know, does his best work in and around the goals, and probably want him as close as possible to that attacking third and not want him playing too far deep.
Yeah, they tried the little 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1 with Decker's introduction, and there was hot on the heels of Alex Gust, who did really well to keep possession. Kawaguchi into Mabok's feet, that's excellent. Hold up play from John Mabok, plays in Eamon Sordo, ball along the deck, back to Mabok. Couldn't quite get it out from under his feet. Dandy City able to clear. Latham gave it away, and Altona back the other way. Mabok. Fabrizio out to Aro. And McCloskey stepping inside and going for the shot on his left foot on McCloskey. A little bit of frustration creeping in for Dandy City. Again, just a night full of opportunities that they just haven't quite been able to capitalise on. Still have just over 10 minutes to find a priceless goal here.
Still plenty of time. That's the thing. Despite Dandy City's frustrations, and you can understand it, given that they've had opportunity after opportunity throughout this game, but still 0-0. There's still plenty of time. Can't afford to lose their heads.
Good stars.
Much better long ball from Casey Wen. Put Dandy City's back four under pressure. Paraish Cullen can only find touch. Aro tight against the touchline. Sosevsky helping him out. Sosevsky finds a brilliant ball out to Kawaguchi, who just caught himself out on the ball. Excellent defending from Valley Chesney. He's had a brilliant night. Dandy City's number 13 finds a ball into Bauer. And now here we go. Dandenong sitting on the break. Bauer. And it falls back to him. Will Bauer! At long last, Dandenong City take the lead. For all the huffing and puffing and chance creation that they've had tonight, it's one of the scrappier opportunities that ends up in the back of the net. And Will Bauer, with his 5th of the season, might just be the important goal in Dandenong City's season.
What a moment there for the home side. Will Bauer did well on the second attempt to put that one into the back of the net. Helped with a little bit of a deflection, but it was a great counter-attack. Lovely ball there from Valley Cesnik, and Bauer with the turn to create that space for himself. He had Latham to his left. He opted to go for his right. He got it back after the pass was blocked. He's not going to complain, and nor are his teammates how it ended up in the back of the net. But Dandy City, a goal to the good now, Nick. And as we know, if they can close this one out, it puts them within 3 points of the top 6, heading into the remainder of this round and the 2 rounds lying ahead. But Altona, they've still got time to turn this one around. Sordo. Kawaguchi goes to ground inside the box. It was Bauer, the goal scorer, with a little bit of a bump, but there was nothing too much in it. And Jack Morgan wave play on, and Dandy City get themselves the goal kick. So Dandy City up to 31 points, into 8th on the ladder above Melbourne City. We have 2 games in hand, mind you, because of course, they play Preston in that catch-up game in midweek, along with playing South Melbourne tomorrow up in Cranbourne. We'll be keeping an eye on what happens between Heidelberg and Hume and Preston and Dandy Thunder and, of course, George Cross against Avondale. A lot still needs to go right, but at the end of the day, if you don't have a ticket, you can't win the raffle. Dandy City are going to keep believing, but they've got to close this one out first. Sesnick will help kick-start that attack, and that is beautiful work from Sesnick. Stojcevski did well to get the interception. Gust, a risky pass back, and Almazi clearing it away first time. Nick Tolios applauding the work there of his fullback, Valley Sesnick, who's had a very, very impressive evening. Altona, meanwhile, interestingly enough, Nick, if this result stays the same and Bentley St Albans stays the same, Bentley actually are still alive. Of course, they have a much worse goal difference than Altona. They're 6 points behind. Altona courtesy have got that minus 11 goal difference compared to Bentley's minus 26. So it would take something monumental. It just goes to show what is on the line tonight. Sordo. Big challenge there from Ashcroft, and out there for a throw-in. Altona got a few more opportunities left in them to try and get something from this game. Two afters there between Bauer and Sordo. Jack Morgan. Ooh, so some words there again between Sordo and Nick Tolios, and a bit of... We'll come back with play here as Latham looks to feed through Wade Decker. He's in behind Decker. Great save from Went. Still alive there, Decker. Inaba getting forward from fullback, and still some words there between the fourth official and the Dandy City technical area. We saw Ayman Sordo having some words there with Nick Tolios, and well, nonetheless, play does continue, Nick.
Goodness me, there's been a fair bit of chaos in the few minutes after Will Bauer's opening goal. Thankfully, everything just diffused for now. We don't want to see anything get out of hand. But that goal has certainly put everyone on edge. Dandy City have a lead to hold on to. Altona Magic have a deficit to overturn, and as you rightly said, Nick, a deficit that, as it stands, has them still not safe completely mathematically.
He punched him in the chest. That's the worst one.
Yeah, good, that's right, yeah, that's fine.
But that's disgusting.
Just keep hold side.
Dandy City have a corner. Latham takes it short. No one's near Wade Decker on the edge of the box. Fakes the shot. Wade Decker. Oh!
Yes,
It's gone all the way in. It's a calamity for Altona Magic. Jack Peroach culling off the bench to seal the 3 points for Dandenong City. And the Hajduk bench rejoices.
You can see there what that means there for the Dandy City players. Jack Peroach culling first goal for the club. They just willed that one over the goal line. Bit of a scramble inside the box after the initial attempt. And they just forced it in. It was almost like a bit of a scorpion kick attempt, I think it was, from Will Bauer, and then Peroach Cullen just forced it in over the goal line.
Yeah, I think Casey Wendt just completely let the ball get underneath him.
Well, Dandy City's bench were happy with that one. They were letting Ayman Sordo know all about it. Ayman Sordo is going to be replaced here, as is Gavin Tasevsky. Jesse Langer and Ollie Keller coming on here for the last few minutes of this game. So, just checking on the field here. There's 12 players on the field at the moment. So, no, sorry, there's 11 now. So,
I think Nick Tolios has Playing a little bit of mind games with
Yeah,
the
I thought for a
numbers on the
second
pitch.
there. I couldn't see Eamon Sordo come off because Gavin Tasevsky is on that far side. But, well, nonetheless, Sordo is off. We just don't know where he is. So Dandy City closing in on a really big 3 points here. The 3 points that will take them within only a win of the top 6. Now, they would need to be willing on an almighty upset on Sunday if Dandy Thunder can beat Preston. They're already relegated. But if Dandy Thunder can somehow beat Preston, it sets up a blockbuster next week, given Preston will be only 3 points clear of Dandy City. But given Heidelberg's drop in form as of late, Dandy City will continue to believe that they have a chance to close in on the top 6. Gus cross into the area, ball flicked on. And it's out for a goal kick. It was off Mabok last. And well, nonetheless, every second off the clock is beneficial now for the home side as they look to close this one out. Altona's 4-game unbeaten run set to come to an end. But Dandy City, who, when it gets cold, as we've seen in NPL Victoria the last couple of years, they find another gear. After that disappointment against Bentley, the disappointment really against Green Gully, what they thought was a squandered 3 points. They were given a lifeline courtesy of the 3-0 win awarded for that game. Then the win last week, and potentially another chance here. Georgakopoulos in behind! And he just drags his shot wide. And well, it would have been the day for first goals. Stasi Georgakopoulos getting in behind and almost getting himself on the score sheet. Dandy City, they want a third. They want more, Nick. They know goal difference might be important in this run home.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say, talking about overcoming that disappointment of the draw at Green Gully, the goal difference swing and the +3 on their goal difference from that ultimately forfeited scoreline is also massive in their chase of Heidelberg in 6th spot as well, or Heidelberg, Melbourne City and Preston and everyone else in that tight race for 6th.
So look at this, Nick. As of right now, their goal difference is now level with Heidelberg on +6 on the live ladder. Massive when it comes to the run home it could be. And given Heidelberg have not won in the league since late May, Dandy City have every right to believe right now, Nick, that maybe they can make things interesting in this run home. It's going to be tough, but they're going to continue to believe, and they've already done it before. They've been able to sneak into the 6. Can they find themselves back into finals football again this year? Cross into the area, looking for Mabok. It's nodded away. Dandy City can't afford to switch off, though. Altona going to continue to keep asking questions. Almazi, Stoichevsky, Latham chasing this one down. Aru up from the back. Reich Cullen got a foot in. 4 minutes of added time here. Ascroft goes to ground and wins his side a free kick. So Dandy City closing in on a big win here. Looking around the grounds, Oakley, 3 goals to the good against Green Gully. So they're closing in on the premiership. Still 1-1 over a Churchill reserve, Nick. I'm sure that Altona, when they get in those club rooms, they're going to be wanting to keep an eye on what happens there, because they'll be willing on St Albans and hoping that they can get a win and ensure that despite this result, that they don't have to worry about anything. Despite that vastly superior goal difference, they need to worry about a thing going into the last 2 games about being dragged back into a relegation dogfight.
Yeah, well, both of these results have a little bit of bearing on both teams. Of course, Dandy City will be happy to see Oakley with the 3-0 lead and edging closer to the Premier's plate, because as you mentioned at the start of the broadcast, Nick, Dandy City goes to Oakley in round 26, and if Oakley have already sewn up top spot by then and have nothing to play for, could be a chance for Nick Tolios' men to catch them napping. And goodness, if that's a win and you're in situation, that'll be an absolutely massive night at Jack Andrews.
Well,
Keep it, Dex.
Just on
Just taking it to the corner and wins the throw.
Just on that, Nick, I mean, every game right now for Dandy City would feel like an elimination final before the elimination final, and that game against Preston next week, their final home game of the season, shapes up as an absolute blockbuster. A Preston team that will be playing basically every 3 days now, right until the final round of the season. They're playing Melbourne City in midweek this week before playing Dandy City, and then they play South Melbourne in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup 3 days later, or 4 days later, sorry. But, of course, they've got a deep squad. They can rotate, but perhaps Dandy City will believe that maybe they could pick them off. So this roller coaster of a season, Nick, it just is set for another twist, another turn. And I tell you what, for all watching on at home and all of us here in the NPL Victoria community, we're the ones that get to lap it up and enjoy this run home, because it's going to be a lot of fun.
It sure is. It's Christmas in August for Victorian football fans, and this is the period of the season where we really get stuck in. Every single game means something. Every single point, every single moment matters. And this one tonight is absolutely massive for Dandenong City. They could break and go in search of a third. Decker plays in Latham. Jamie Latham went himself. Matty Jofku was calling for it at the back post, but won't have a great deal of significance on the result. Dandy City with a minute or two to see this one out. Decker. Georgakopoulos there. Keeping it alive rather than just keeping it in the corner. Stasi Georgakopoulos to Latham. And again, Jamie Latham. Very nearly a Jordan Pickford Divock Origi scenario on the top of the crossbar. Casey went grateful to hold on to the ball.
What a reference.
That moment will live rent-free in my head for the rest of eternity. Gus now for Altona. They'd still love a goal tonight in the Magic. Kawaguchi and Paraj Cullen, scorer of the second goal. His first in this competition. Back in the 6-yard box where he's used to doing more of his work, the defensive one. Clearing it out for a corner, which Ollie Keller comes across to take. This could well be last chance saloon for Altona to pull a goal back in this one. Good ball. Headed away. And there is the final whistle. It's a monumental 3 points for Dandenong City on home soil. They had to work for it. It came late. Will Bauer's deflected effort heading into the final 10 minutes got them 1-0 ahead. And then it was all sewn up just a few minutes later when Jack Paraj Cullen popped up off the bench, took advantage of the loose ball in the 6-yard box and smashed it home from on the goal line. And they'll celebrate this one long and hard here in Dandenong. A result that moves Hajduk to within 3 points of the top 6 as the table currently stands. And heading into the final 2 weeks of the Senol NPL men's Victoria season, it is well and truly game on for Dandenong City.
Well, hold on a second here. There's still some words here between some of the Altona players and Dandy City players. And, well, it is Eamon Sordo who is in the thick of it. He had some words to say to the Dandy City bench just prior to Jack Paraj Cullen scoring that second goal, which was ultimately the sealer. But nonetheless, Nick, regardless, it's a very, very happy Dandy City locker room after a big 3 points here. 3 wins in a row now, technically, as a result of that 3-0 win against Green Gully to kick it all off. But they've done what they have to. They've won the games. They've kept themselves in the mix for the top 6. They're 3 points behind Heidelberg and Preston. They'll be keeping a keen eye on what occurs over the rest of the weekend. Although it may be unlikely given the tough calibre of fixtures and needing a lot to go right. Of course, keeping an eye on what happens in George Cross's clash against Avondale tomorrow and Melbourne City's matches against both South Melbourne and Preston the next week. They'll dare to dream and see how the cards fall in the next couple of days. Altona, meanwhile, they're all but safe, but of course they just need to keep an eye on what occurs tonight over at Churchill Reserve. We're signing off here from Frank Holohan. Final score, Dandenong City 2, Altona Magic 0.